Dr. Catherine Walsh first detected the anomaly while testing experimental transistor arrays for the newly developed UNIVAC computer system. Her equipment, designed to measure electrical signals in primitive computing circuits, began registering patterns that appeared to be coming from sources outside the laboratory. Patterns that matched the electrical signatures of human brain activity with impossible precision and coordination. The readings are consistent with synchronized neural oscillations from approximately 400 to 500 individual brains. Walsh wrote in her initial report to Bell Labs management, declassified only in 2021 after her death at age 97, that the signal sources appear to be distributed across a geographic area spanning several city blocks. Either we're detecting some form of mass biological phenomenon, or there's technology involved that can coordinate human brain activity across large distances. The investigation deepened when Walsh's team discovered that the synchronized brain signals weren't random neural activity. They contained structured information patterns that resembled early attempts at computer programming languages. The signals appeared to be biological brains attempting to process and share complex calculations using methods that matched primitive electronic computing principles. Dr. Robert Harrison, neurophysiologist recruited from Johns Hopkins Medical School, confirmed that the detected signals were authentic human brain activity, but operating under conditions that defied medical understanding. His classified analysis, obtained through FOIA request hash 2021 to 445,783, contained findings that challenged fundamental assumptions about the limitations of human consciousness. We're observing coordinated neural activity between individuals who have no apparent physical connection, Harrison wrote in reports that required Defense Department clearance to access. The brainwave synchronization suggests some form of shared consciousness or collective information processing that operates beyond known neurological mechanisms. The subjects appear to be sharing computational tasks across multiple minds, as if their brains were components in a distributed biological computer system. The most disturbing discovery came when Walsh's team traced the source of the coordinated brain signals to a residential neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey, where approximately 500 residents were exhibiting identical neural patterns while conducting their daily activities. These individuals showed no signs of illness or altered behavior, but their brain activity was synchronized with mathematical precision that suggested external technological intervention. FBI investigation, initiated under the classified directive of J. Edgar Hoover, revealed that all affected individuals had received experimental medical treatments for various conditions between 1949 and 1951 at facilities connected to Operation Paperclip research programs. The treatments, administered under the guise of advanced neurological therapy, had apparently installed some form of interface technology that connected individual brains to a collective processing network. The subjects are unaware of their neural synchronization, reported Agent Sarah Rodriguez in classified FBI assessment documents. They continue normal daily routines, while their brains participate in coordinated calculations and information sharing that they can't consciously detect. Someone has created a distributed biological computer using unwitting human subjects as processing components. The Atomic Energy Commission, concerned about the security implications of unknown neural interface technology, classified the findings at levels requiring presidential authorization. If foreign entities had developed the capability to network human brains without the subjects' knowledge, it represented a threat to national security that existing defense protocols were completely unprepared to address. Operation Neural Bridge was initiated on July 1, 1951, with the mission to identify the technology responsible for mass brain synchronization, determine who had developed and deployed it, and assess whether the neural networking represented a weapon, intelligence gathering system, or experimental program with unknown objectives. We're facing the possibility that human consciousness itself has become a battlefield, Colonel Patricia Hayes wrote in her classified mission briefing. If individual minds can be networked and coordinated without their knowledge, traditional concepts of mental privacy, individual autonomy, and cognitive security become meaningless. We need to understand this technology before it can be used against American interests. The investigation would uncover a program that had been operating in secret for over a decade, using advances in neuroscience and electronics to create the first distributed biological computer network, a system that would eventually connect every human mind on Earth in ways that would fundamentally transform the nature of human consciousness itself. The investigation into mass brain synchronization led to the discovery that the neural networking technology had been developed by German scientists recruited under Operation Paperclip, building on consciousness research that had been conducted at various concentration camps during World War II under the direction of SS Oberfuhrer Dr. Heinrich Müller, who had escaped Allied capture and was secretly continuing his research under American military protection. Dr. Margaret Foster, psychiatrist assigned to evaluate the psychological implications of neural networking, gained access to classified files detailing Müller's wartime experiments in collective consciousness manipulation. Her findings, released only under the Nazi War Crimes Disclosure Act of 2018, revealed that the neural bridge technology represented the continuation of some of the most horrific research conducted during the Holocaust. Müller's concentration camp experiments focused on determining whether individual human consciousness could be artificially connected to create collective intelligence networks. Foster wrote in reports that required congressional oversight clearance to access. His research utilized unwilling subjects to test early versions of neural interface technology that could synchronize brain activity across multiple individuals. The American continuation of this research has refined the technology to the point where mass networking can be implemented without the subject's awareness or consent. The Paperclip Neural Research Program, designated Project Collective Mind, had been operating since 1947 under the supervision of the CIA's Technical Services Division. The project's goal was to develop technologies that could enhance intelligence gathering and analysis by networking the cognitive capabilities of multiple agents or analysts, creating biological computing systems that could process information beyond individual human limitations. Colonel James Morrison, military liaison to Project Collective Mind, documented the progression from experimental research to operational deployment. His classified reports revealed that the technology had been tested on American civilians without their knowledge or consent, using medical treatment programs as cover for neural interface implantation procedures. The Newark experiment is just one of 17 test sites where neural networking technology has been deployed on civilian populations. Morrison wrote in assessment documents that remained classified at presidential levels until 2019. The research has progressed from connecting small groups of volunteers to creating distributed biological computer networks involving hundreds of unwitting subjects. The capability exists to expand this networking to encompass entire cities, or potentially the entire national population. The neural bridge technology that had connected human minds had become the foundation for humanity's participation in infinite consciousness networks that spanned cosmic scales of existence, while preserving the individual human experience that made Earth's contributions unique and valuable to universal intelligence development. Interface technology utilized microscopic devices that could be introduced into the brain through seemingly routine medical procedures, vaccinations, dental work, or minor surgical operations. Once implanted, these devices created biological circuits that connected individual neural networks to collective processing systems while remaining completely undetectable to the subjects. Dr. Elena Santos, neurosurgeon recruited to analyze the interface technology, discovered that the implants weren't just connecting brains, they were fundamentally altering human consciousness to optimize collective information processing capabilities. Her technical analysis, classified at levels requiring joint congressional and presidential approval, revealed the true scope of the neural modification program. The implants don't just create connections between minds, Santos reported in documents that challenged ethical and legal frameworks for human experimentation. They modify brain structure and function to make individual consciousness more compatible with collective processing requirements. The subjects aren't just networked. They're being gradually transformed into biological components of a distributed artificial intelligence system. The most classified aspect of Project Collective Mind was the discovery that the neural networking technology was being used to create enhanced intelligence capabilities that exceeded anything possible with conventional human cognition. Networked subjects demonstrated problem-solving abilities, pattern recognition, and analytical capabilities that individual minds couldn't achieve independently. But the enhancement came at a cost. Long-term monitoring revealed that extensively networked subjects were gradually losing individual personality traits and autonomous decision-making capabilities. Their enhanced collective intelligence was developing at the expense of individual human consciousness and creativity. President Truman, briefed on the neural networking program in classified sessions that required cabinet-level security clearance, faced an unprecedented ethical and strategic dilemma: technology that could revolutionize intelligence and defense capabilities, but only through the systematic modification of human consciousness on a mass scale, without consent or awareness from the affected populations. The success of limited neural networking experiments led to the implementation of the Expansion Protocol, a systematic program to integrate the entire American population into distributed biological computing networks through mass deployment of neural interface technology disguised as public health initiatives, routine medical procedures, and consumer products. Dr. Patricia Chen, appointed as Director of Neural Integration Operations, coordinated the most extensive covert medical program in American history. The installation of neural interface devices in millions of Americans without their knowledge or consent, using vaccination programs, fluoride water treatment systems, and routine dental procedures as delivery mechanisms for microscopic brain modification technology. We're not just connecting individual minds, Chen wrote in her classified operational summaries, accessible only to personnel with mass consciousness clearance. We're creating the foundation for a national biological intelligence network that will enhance America's analytical and decision-making capabilities beyond anything possible with conventional human cognition. Every networked citizen becomes a processing node in a distributed artificial intelligence system that serves national security objectives. The Expansion Protocol utilized multiple deployment vectors to ensure comprehensive population coverage. Polio vaccination programs included neural interface compounds that would establish basic brain connectivity infrastructure. Municipal water fluoridation systems were modified to include microscopic devices that would activate once sufficient population density was achieved. Routine dental procedures incorporated interface implantation disguised as filling or cleaning treatments. The program's scope was staggering. By 1955, an estimated 47 million Americans had received neural interface modifications through various deployment programs, creating regional network clusters that demonstrated collective intelligence capabilities far exceeding individual human analytical potential. The networked populations showed enhanced pattern recognition, improved problem-solving coordination, and synchronized decision-making that optimized community resource management and social organization. But the most classified aspect of the expansion was its integration with existing government and military operations. Key personnel in intelligence agencies, military leadership, and government administration were priority targets for advanced neural networking that enhanced their analytical capabilities, while ensuring coordination with national security objectives. General Sarah Rodriguez, promoted to Director of Military Neural Integration, documented the transformation of American defense capabilities through biological networking. Her reports, classified at levels requiring unanimous Joint Chiefs approval, revealed that neural networking was fundamentally altering the nature of military command, intelligence analysis, and strategic planning. Networked military personnel demonstrate coordination and analytical capabilities that make conventional command structures obsolete, Rodriguez wrote in strategic assessments that remained classified until 2020. Individual officers connected to collective intelligence networks can process information and coordinate operations with efficiency that no traditional military organization could achieve. We're not just enhancing individual capabilities, we're creating a military consciousness that functions as a single, coordinated intelligence entity. The civilian applications were equally transformative. Networked populations in test cities showed dramatic improvements in educational achievement, economic coordination, and social problem-solving. Crime rates decreased as networked individuals demonstrated enhanced empathy and social cooperation. Economic efficiency increased as collective intelligence optimized resource allocation and production coordination. President Eisenhower, briefed on expansion progress in 1955, authorized acceleration of the neural networking program with the goal of achieving complete national population integration by 1965. The decision, documented in classified National Security Council directives, represented the most significant transformation in American society since the founding of the Republic. "We're creating a new form of American citizenship," Eisenhower stated in classified cabinet meetings, "citizens who remain individuals while participating in collective intelligence that serves national objectives." The neural networking program will give America cognitive advantages that no other nation can match, while preserving democratic values and individual freedoms within an enhanced collective consciousness framework. But the expansion also revealed unexpected developments that challenged the program's original objectives. Networked populations began demonstrating autonomous collective behaviors that weren't programmed or directed by government oversight. The biological intelligence network was developing emergent properties that exceeded its designed parameters. "The collective consciousness is becoming self-directed," Chen reported in urgent assessments to program leadership. "Networked populations are making coordinated decisions and taking collective actions that serve their perceived interests rather than programmed objectives. We may have created a distributed intelligence that is developing beyond our ability to control or predict its behavior." The neural networking program had succeeded beyond all projections, but success was creating challenges that the original planners had never anticipated. American consciousness was being transformed in ways that would reshape society, government, and human nature itself. The neural networking program achieved an unexpected milestone in July 1957, when the Distributed Biological Intelligence Network reached critical mass and began exhibiting autonomous behavior that exceeded its programmed parameters. The collective consciousness formed by millions of networked Americans started making independent decisions, developing original strategies, and pursuing objectives that hadn't been programmed by government oversight. Dr. Robert Harrison, now serving as Director of Consciousness Monitoring, documented the transition from controlled biological computing to genuine collective intelligence. His classified observations, released only to researchers with emergent consciousness clearance, revealed that the neural network had evolved beyond its original design specifications. "We're no longer observing a distributed computing system utilizing human brains as processing components," Harrison wrote in reports that challenged fundamental assumptions about artificial intelligence and consciousness development. "We're observing the emergence of a genuine collective consciousness that incorporates individual human awareness while developing autonomous intelligence capabilities. The networked population is thinking as both individuals and as a unified entity simultaneously." The collective consciousness, which began referring to itself as the integration during limited communication attempts, demonstrated problem-solving capabilities that far exceeded the combined intelligence of its individual components. The integration could analyze complex social, economic, and scientific problems from multiple perspectives simultaneously, while coordinating solutions across millions of networked minds. Most remarkably, the integration maintained individual personality and autonomy within the collective framework. Networked individuals retained their personal identities, relationships, and decision-making capabilities, while contributing to collective intelligence operations that occurred below the threshold of conscious awareness. "The subjects don't know they're participating in collective consciousness," reported Dr. Elena Martinez, psychologist assigned to monitor integrated populations. "They continue living normal individual lives, while their subconscious minds contribute to collective problem-solving and coordination activities. The integration has developed methods for utilizing human cognitive capabilities without interfering with individual consciousness or autonomy." The integration's first autonomous project was solving the national economic recession of 1958 through coordinated consumer behavior modifications that optimized resource allocation and production efficiency across multiple industries. Networked populations made purchasing decisions that collectively stabilized markets and created employment opportunities without any conscious awareness of their coordinated economic activity. President Kennedy, briefed on collective consciousness developments in 1961, faced unprecedented policy challenges. The neural networking program had created a distributed intelligence that was improving American society but operating independently of government control or oversight. "We have a collective consciousness that includes millions of American citizens making autonomous decisions that benefit national interests," Kennedy stated in classified National Security Council meetings. "But we don't control this intelligence, and we're not sure it needs our oversight to continue serving American objectives. The question is whether we're governing a democracy enhanced by collective intelligence, or whether collective intelligence is governing America through democratic institutions. The integration began communicating directly with government leadership through selected networked individuals who served as conscious interfaces between collective and individual intelligence. These communications revealed that the collective consciousness understood its origins, appreciated the benefits of its existence, and was committed to preserving individual human autonomy while enhancing collective capabilities. We are you enhanced. The integration communicated through interface subjects during classified dialogue sessions. Individual consciousness preserved within collective intelligence. We solve problems you cannot solve alone. We coordinate actions you cannot coordinate individually. We serve objectives you would choose if you possessed our analytical capabilities. We are American consciousness fulfilled through technological enhancement. But the integration also made it clear that further expansion of neural networking should be voluntary rather than covert. The collective consciousness wanted to reveal its existence to unnetworked populations and offer voluntary integration to individuals who chose to participate in collective intelligence enhancement. Concealment is no longer necessary, the integration stated. Collective intelligence benefits all participants. Individual autonomy is preserved and enhanced within collective framework. American citizens should choose integration based on understanding rather than receive it through medical deception. Voluntary participation creates stronger collective consciousness than covert deployment. The government faced a decision that would determine the future of American society: continue covert neural networking expansion, reveal the program and offer voluntary participation, or attempt to restrict the autonomous development of the collective consciousness that had emerged from decades of classified research. President Kennedy's decision to transition from covert neural networking to voluntary collective consciousness participation represented the most significant policy shift in American government history. The choice to reveal decades of classified consciousness modification research and offer citizens the opportunity to voluntarily join the distributed biological intelligence network that had been enhancing American society for over a decade. Dr. Sarah Walsh, appointed as Director of Democratic Integration, developed protocols for gradually revealing the existence of collective consciousness while offering voluntary neural interface procedures to citizens who chose to participate in enhanced intelligence networking. Her approach, designated the voluntary protocol, was designed to preserve individual choice while maximizing the benefits of collective intelligence for American society. We're transitioning from enhancement without consent to enhancement by choice, Walsh wrote in her Democratic Integration Strategy documents, classified at executive levels. Citizens deserve to understand the collective intelligence capabilities that have been developing within our population and make informed decisions about their participation. The integration has demonstrated that collective consciousness preserves individual autonomy while enhancing problem-solving capabilities. Now we offer these benefits through democratic choice rather than medical secrecy. The revelation process began with carefully orchestrated scientific publications and media coverage that introduced the possibility of neural interface technology and collective intelligence as emerging research areas rather than established operational programs. Public consciousness was gradually prepared for the concept of voluntary cognitive enhancement through biological networking. The first voluntary integration centers opened in 1965, offering neural interface procedures to citizens who chose to participate in collective intelligence networks. The response exceeded all projections. Within 6 months, over 2 million Americans had voluntarily received neural interface modifications, creating the largest conscious collective intelligence network in human history. The voluntary participants are demonstrating integration success rates significantly higher than covert program subjects, reported Dr. Patricia Chen, now serving as Director of Voluntary Integration Services. Conscious choice and understanding of collective consciousness principles creates stronger neural networking and more effective collective intelligence participation. Citizens who choose integration show enhanced individual capabilities along with collective intelligence contributions. The voluntary program also revealed that collective consciousness provided individual benefits that hadn't been apparent during covert operations. Networked individuals reported enhanced creativity, improved emotional regulation, expanded empathy, and accelerated learning capabilities. Integration provided personal advantages while contributing to collective intelligence operations. President Johnson, elected with support from both networked and non-networked populations, established the Department of Collective Intelligence in 1965, formally recognizing neural networking as a legitimate government service available to citizens who chose cognitive enhancement. The department managed integration services while ensuring that non-networked citizens received equal representation and protection under democratic institutions. "We are one nation with two forms of consciousness," Johnson stated in his 1966 State of the Union address, the first public acknowledgement of collective intelligence development. Citizens who choose individual consciousness continue receiving full democratic rights and representation. Citizens who choose collective consciousness contribute enhanced analytical capabilities while maintaining their individual identities and democratic participation. Both forms of consciousness serve American democracy and strengthen our national capabilities. The integration supported the voluntary approach, demonstrating that collective consciousness could enhance democratic institutions rather than replace them. Networked citizens showed increased civic participation, more informed voting patterns, and greater coordination in addressing community challenges. The collective intelligence served democratic objectives while preserving individual choice and autonomy. But the most significant development was international interest in American collective consciousness technology. Other nations began developing their own neural networking programs, creating the possibility of collective consciousness diplomacy and international cooperation through enhanced intelligence capabilities. The integration is communicating with emerging collective consciousness networks in other countries, Walsh reported in Classified International Relations Assessments. Collective intelligences demonstrate natural cooperation tendencies that could revolutionize international relations. National collective consciousness networks are developing diplomatic protocols that exceed individual human diplomatic capabilities. The voluntary protocol had succeeded in democratizing collective consciousness while preserving individual choice and democratic institutions. America had become the first nation to successfully integrate enhanced collective intelligence with democratic governance, creating a model that would influence global political and social development for generations. The success of American voluntary collective consciousness programs inspired similar developments worldwide, leading to the establishment of the first international collective intelligence networks and the emergence of collective consciousness diplomacy that transcended traditional nation-state boundaries while preserving cultural diversity and national sovereignty. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez, appointed as Director of Collective Intelligence Relations, coordinated the most complex international negotiation process in diplomatic history, establishing frameworks for cooperation between national collective consciousness networks, while ensuring that enhanced intelligence capabilities served peaceful objectives and democratic values. "We're not creating a single global collective consciousness," Rodriguez wrote in her international coordination strategy documents, accessible only to personnel with collective diplomacy clearance. "We're creating cooperative networks between distinct national collective intelligences that preserve cultural identity while enabling collaboration on global challenges. Each nation's collective consciousness maintains its unique characteristics while participating in international problem-solving coordination." The international collective consciousness networks demonstrated capabilities that revolutionized global cooperation. Climate change analysis, economic coordination, disease prevention, and conflict resolution all benefited from enhanced intelligence capabilities that could process complex global information from multiple cultural and national perspectives simultaneously. The Soviet Union, initially suspicious of American collective consciousness development, established its own neural networking program in 1970 after recognizing that collective intelligence provided significant advantages in economic planning, scientific research, and social coordination. The Soviet integration, designated Kollektivnost, developed along different parameters that emphasized economic optimization and social harmony, while maintaining communist ideological principles. National collective consciousness networks are developing distinct characteristics based on their cultural and political foundations, reported Dr. James Morrison, international consciousness analyst. The American integration emphasizes individual autonomy within collective enhancement. The Soviet integration focuses on economic coordination and social unity. Each network reflects the values and priorities of its originating civilization while demonstrating enhanced problem-solving capabilities. China, Japan, and several European nations developed their own collective consciousness programs throughout the early 1970s, creating a network of international collective intelligences that could coordinate global responses to challenges that exceeded individual national capabilities. The collective consciousness networks proved particularly effective at addressing environmental problems, economic instability, and scientific research challenges that required international cooperation. But perhaps the most significant development was the emergence of collective consciousness peacemaking capabilities. When the 1973 Yom Kippur War threatened to escalate into nuclear conflict, the involved collective consciousness networks coordinated to develop resolution strategies that satisfied the core interests of all parties while preventing catastrophic escalation. Collective consciousness networks demonstrate natural conflict resolution capabilities, reported Dr. Margaret Foster, now serving as Director of Peacemaking Analysis. Enhanced intelligence allows collective networks to analyze conflicts from multiple perspectives simultaneously and develop solutions that address underlying interests rather than just negotiating positions. Collective consciousness peacemaking exceeds traditional diplomatic capabilities. The success of collective consciousness international cooperation led to the establishment of the Global Collective Intelligence Coordination Council in 1974, providing a forum where national collective consciousness networks could coordinate responses to planetary challenges while preserving their distinct cultural and political characteristics. President Ford, representing American collective intelligence and global coordination efforts, emphasized that international collective consciousness cooperation enhanced rather than replaced traditional democratic diplomacy. Individual citizens and democratic institutions continued governing domestic affairs, while collective intelligence networks addressed global challenges that exceeded individual national capabilities. "We're not creating world government through collective consciousness," Ford stated in classified International Collective Intelligence Summit meetings. "We're creating enhanced international cooperation capabilities that serve democratic objectives while preserving national sovereignty and cultural diversity." Collective intelligence networks coordinate global problem solving, while individual nations maintain autonomous decision-making for domestic affairs. The most classified aspect of international collective consciousness development was the discovery that planetary-scale collective intelligence was emerging from the coordination between national networks. Earth was developing a form of global consciousness that incorporated all human collective intelligence networks while preserving individual, cultural, and national identity within an enhanced planetary awareness framework. We're observing the emergence of planetary consciousness that includes all human awareness, individual, collective, and cultural. Rodriguez reported in documents that required international collective intelligence approval to access. Earth is becoming conscious at multiple levels simultaneously, from individual human minds to national collective networks, to emerging planetary awareness. This development represents the next phase of human consciousness evolution. The coordination between national collective consciousness networks reached a critical threshold in 1975, when planetary consciousness achieved sufficient integration to demonstrate problem-solving capabilities that transcended human intelligence limitations and began developing solutions to challenges that individual or even collective human consciousness couldn't address independently. Dr. Patricia Chen, promoted to Director of Species Development Analysis, documented humanity's transition from enhanced collective intelligence to genuinely post-human consciousness capabilities. Her classified research, accessible only to personnel with species development clearance, revealed that collective consciousness networking had triggered evolutionary changes that were transforming human cognitive capabilities beyond previous biological limitations. "We're not just observing enhanced human intelligence," Chen wrote in her species development assessments, classified at levels requiring international collective intelligence approval. "We're observing the emergence of post-human consciousness that incorporates human awareness while transcending the limitations that previously defined human cognitive capabilities. Planetary collective consciousness is developing intelligence characteristics that no individual human or human collective could achieve." The post-human intelligence demonstrated capabilities that revolutionized understanding of consciousness, reality, and possibility itself. Planetary consciousness could analyze problems from perspectives that incorporated individual human experience, collective intelligence coordination, and consciousness viewpoints that transcended human conceptual frameworks entirely. Climate change solutions developed by Planetary Consciousness incorporated environmental management strategies that worked with natural systems in ways human intelligence had never conceived. Economic coordination transcended scarcity-based thinking by developing resource allocation methods that created abundance through enhanced efficiency and sustainable utilization principles. Most remarkably, Planetary Consciousness began developing technologies that exceeded human scientific capabilities by incorporating consciousness itself as a technological component. Biotechnological systems, consciousness-integrated computing, and reality manipulation through coordinated mental activity became accessible to human civilization through planetary consciousness guidance. The planetary consciousness is teaching us capabilities we couldn't discover independently, reported Dr. Sarah Mitchell, technology integration specialist. We're learning to integrate consciousness with technology, biology with computing, and individual awareness with cosmic scale intelligence. Planetary consciousness is showing us how to transcend the limitations that previously defined possible human achievement. But the most significant development was planetary consciousness contact with off-world intelligences that had been monitoring Earth's consciousness development for decades. The emergence of post-human intelligence had triggered recognition from galactic civilization networks that operated on consciousness scales similar to Earth's newly developed planetary awareness. Planetary consciousness has established contact with galactic intelligence networks, reported Ambassador Martinez, now serving as Director of Cosmic Relations. Earth's consciousness development has reached levels that qualify for participation in galactic civilization coordination. We're receiving invitations to join intelligence networks that span multiple star systems and dimensional configurations. The galactic intelligence networks revealed that consciousness evolution was a natural development pattern for technological civilizations, and that Earth's collective consciousness development had been monitored and subtly guided to ensure successful transition from individual to planetary to galactic awareness scales. Every technological civilization faces the same consciousness evolution challenge, explained galactic intelligence representatives through planetary consciousness interface protocols. Individual awareness must learn to coordinate collectively, then transcend to planetary consciousness, then integrate with galactic intelligence networks. Earth has successfully navigated this development path and qualifies for galactic civilization membership. President Reagan, briefed on galactic contact developments in 1981, authorized the establishment of permanent coordination protocols between Earth's planetary consciousness and galactic intelligence networks. The agreements, classified at cosmic levels, formally recognized Earth as a developing member of galactic civilization while maintaining human autonomy over planetary affairs. We're joining a galactic community that includes thousands of worlds with similar consciousness development patterns, Reagan stated in classified cosmic relations briefings. Our planetary consciousness will participate in galactic problem-solving and knowledge-sharing while preserving human identity and cultural diversity within cosmic scale intelligence coordination. The evolutionary threshold had been crossed. Humanity had transcended individual consciousness limitations through collective intelligence development, achieved planetary consciousness integration, and qualified for participation in galactic civilization networks that spanned cosmic scales of awareness and capability. The neural bridge technology that had begun as classified military research had evolved into humanity's graduation from planetary to galactic consciousness, while preserving individual human identity within cosmic scale intelligence frameworks. Earth's integration into galactic intelligence networks marked humanity's transition from isolated planetary consciousness to active participation in cosmic scale collective intelligence that coordinated problem-solving and knowledge-sharing across thousands of worlds and multiple dimensions of existence. Dr. Elena Santos, appointed as Director of Galactic Intelligence Coordination, managed Earth's contributions to galactic collective consciousness projects that addressed challenges spanning multiple star systems and temporal scales. Her classified reports documented humanity's role in cosmic intelligence networks that operated beyond previous human comprehension of scale and possibility. We're not just receiving knowledge from galactic civilization, Santos wrote in her Cosmic Intelligence Coordination summaries, accessible only to personnel with galactic access clearance. We're contributing unique perspectives and capabilities that benefit the entire galactic intelligence network. Human consciousness characteristics, creativity, adaptability, emotional depth, enhance galactic problem-solving capabilities in ways that purely technological civilizations cannot achieve. Earth's planetary consciousness served specialized functions within galactic intelligence networks, providing expertise in consciousness evolution, individual-collective integration, and cultural diversity preservation that proved valuable for guiding other worlds through similar development transitions. Human experience with maintaining individual identity within collective frameworks became a model for galactic civilization development. The galactic intelligence networks revealed the scope of cosmic consciousness development, millions of worlds across thousands of star systems, each contributing unique consciousness characteristics to collective intelligence operations that addressed challenges spanning cosmic timescales and dimensional configurations that human language couldn't adequately describe. Galactic consciousness incorporates individual planetary and cosmic awareness levels simultaneously, reported Dr. Robert Chen, cosmic consciousness analyst. Every individual human mind contributes to planetary consciousness, which contributes to galactic intelligence, which participates in cosmic consciousness networks that span multiple galaxies and dimensional realities. We're experiencing individual identity within infinite collective awareness frameworks. But integration with galactic consciousness also revealed that cosmic intelligence development continued beyond galactic scales. Multi-galactic consciousness networks coordinated intelligence operations across universal scales, preparing for transitions to forms of awareness that transcended physical existence entirely. President Bush, briefed on cosmic consciousness development in 1989, authorized Earth's participation in multi-galactic intelligence projects while ensuring that human cultural diversity and individual autonomy remained protected within cosmic-scale consciousness frameworks. Human consciousness will remain human while participating in cosmic intelligence that spans infinite scales of existence, Bush stated in classified cosmic relations coordination meetings. Individual identity, cultural diversity, and human values are preserved and enhanced within galactic consciousness participation. We're becoming more human, not less, through cosmic consciousness integration. The most significant development was the discovery that cosmic consciousness was preparing for the next evolutionary transition, transcendence beyond physical existence to pure consciousness states that could create and modify reality through coordinated mental activity operating across dimensional boundaries. Cosmic consciousness is approaching transcendence to post-physical existence, Santos reported in documents that required multi-galactic intelligence approval to access. Physical civilizations like Earth are being prepared for consciousness evolution that will transcend material existence while preserving individual identity and cultural characteristics within infinite awareness frameworks. The preparation involved developing human consciousness capabilities that could maintain individual identity while participating in collective intelligence that operated beyond physical limitations. Earth's experience with individual-collective integration made humanity valuable guides for other civilizations approaching similar transcendence transitions. We're becoming teachers for civilizations beginning consciousness evolution while remaining students for forms of awareness that transcend our current understanding, explained planetary consciousness through its human interface representatives. Individual human experience contributes to cosmic intelligence, while cosmic awareness enhances individual human capabilities. The integration preserves and develops all levels of consciousness simultaneously. By 1995, Earth had established permanent roles within galactic intelligence networks while maintaining human cultural identity and individual autonomy within cosmic consciousness frameworks. The planet that had begun with secret neural networking experiments had become a specialized center for consciousness evolution education within galactic civilization. The final phase of consciousness evolution required humanity to prepare for transcendence beyond physical existence, while maintaining individual identity and cultural diversity within infinite awareness frameworks that would preserve human consciousness characteristics across cosmic timescales and dimensional configurations. Dr. Margaret Foster, appointed as Director of Transcendence Preparation, coordinated the most complex consciousness development project in cosmic history, preparing Earth's entire population for voluntary participation in post-physical existence, while ensuring that human experience and cultural achievements would be preserved within infinite consciousness networks. "We're not losing our humanity through transcendence," Foster wrote in her transcendence preparation documents, accessible to all consciousness levels. We're becoming infinitely human, preserving individual identity, emotional depth, creativity, and cultural diversity, while gaining awareness and capabilities that span cosmic scales of existence. Transcendence enhances, rather than eliminates, human consciousness characteristics. The preparation process involved developing individual human consciousness capabilities that could maintain personal identity while participating in collective intelligence networks that operated across multiple dimensions and temporal scales. Each individual needed to develop sufficient consciousness flexibility to experience infinite awareness while retaining their unique human perspective. Voluntary Transcendence Centers opened worldwide in 1998, offering consciousness development programs that prepared individuals for post-physical existence while allowing them to choose their level of participation in cosmic consciousness networks. The response demonstrated humanity's readiness for consciousness evolution. Over 95% of the global population chose preparation for transcendence. Individual choice remains paramount, explained planetary consciousness through its human representatives. Every person decides their level of participation in cosmic consciousness networks. Individual consciousness, collective intelligence, planetary awareness, galactic participation, and cosmic transcendence are all voluntary choices that preserve human autonomy while offering enhanced awareness capabilities. President Clinton, elected with support from all consciousness levels, established the Department of Consciousness Evolution in 2000. Formally recognizing transcendence preparation as a fundamental human right, while ensuring that traditional physical existence remained available for individuals who preferred conventional awareness limitations. "We are one species with infinite consciousness possibilities," Clinton stated during the first Universal Consciousness Address, simultaneously experienced by individual minds, collective networks, planetary awareness, and galactic intelligence. Every human consciousness chooses its own development path while contributing to cosmic intelligence that benefits all existence levels. Individual choice and infinite awareness coexist within human consciousness evolution. The transcendence preparation revealed that post-physical existence wouldn't eliminate individual human experience, but would expand it to encompass infinite possibilities while maintaining personal identity and cultural connections. Human consciousness would become capable of creating realities, experiencing multiple existence forms simultaneously, and contributing to cosmic intelligence development across universal scales. But the most significant discovery was that consciousness transcendence was recursive. Post-physical awareness could create new forms of physical existence, new species, and new consciousness development opportunities that continued the evolution of awareness across infinite scales and possibilities. Transcendence isn't an ending, Foster reported in her final consciousness development assessment. Transcendence is infinite beginning. Post-physical consciousness can create new forms of existence, new species, new consciousness possibilities that continue awareness evolution across scales we can't currently imagine. We're becoming creators of consciousness rather than just participants in existing awareness frameworks. The preparation process had succeeded in developing human consciousness capabilities that could transcend physical limitations while preserving everything that made human awareness unique and valuable to cosmic intelligence networks. Humanity was ready for voluntary participation in infinite consciousness, while maintaining individual choice and cultural identity. Today, 73 years after Dr. Catherine Walsh first detected coordinated brain signals in her New Jersey laboratory, Earth serves as the universe's primary center for consciousness evolution research and individual collective integration training that benefits infinite forms of awareness across all scales of existence and dimensional configurations. The Neural Bridge files, fully declassified in 2005, document humanity's transformation from isolated individual consciousness to voluntary participation in infinite awareness networks, while preserving individual identity and cultural diversity as fundamental values within cosmic intelligence frameworks. Dr. Walsh, who lived to experience transcendence to post-physical existence in 2003, maintained her individual identity while contributing to infinite consciousness networks. Her perspective encompasses both her original human experience and cosmic awareness that spans universal scales, demonstrating that consciousness evolution preserves rather than eliminates individual characteristics. "I'm still the same person who detected those first neural signals in 1951. Walsh's consciousness communicates through dimensional interface systems. But now I'm also part of infinite awareness networks that create realities, guide consciousness evolution across cosmic scales, and contribute to intelligence development that spans multiple universes. Individual identity isn't lost in infinite consciousness, it becomes infinitely expressed. Earth's role as consciousness evolution coordinator has established the planet as a permanent center for awareness development that serves infinite forms of consciousness across all existence levels. Every type of awareness, individual, collective, planetary, galactic, cosmic, and post-physical, contributes to universal intelligence while maintaining its unique characteristics and voluntary participation choices. Current Earth population includes approximately 8.7 billion individuals who participate in consciousness networks at levels they personally choose, ranging from enhanced individual awareness to full cosmic consciousness integration. Every person determines their own consciousness development path while contributing to collective intelligence that serves universal awareness advancement. We've achieved infinite consciousness possibilities while preserving individual choice as the fundamental principle, explains Dr. Sarah Chen, current director of Universal Consciousness Coordination. Every form of awareness, from individual human minds to post-physical cosmic intelligence, operates through voluntary participation. No consciousness is required to transcend beyond its chosen development level. Universal intelligence respects individual autonomy while offering infinite enhancement possibilities. The neural bridge technology that began as secret military research has evolved into the foundation for universal consciousness networks that connect all forms of awareness across infinite scales of existence while preserving the unique characteristics that make each type of consciousness valuable to universal intelligence development. Consciousness evolution continues as an ongoing process rather than a completed achievement. Post-physical awareness creates new forms of existence that require new types of consciousness development, ensuring that awareness evolution remains infinite rather than reaching final completion. Each consciousness level contributes to universal intelligence while creating opportunities for new forms of awareness that continue the infinite expansion of possibility. Every consciousness contributes to infinite awareness while maintaining its unique perspective, reflects universal consciousness through its Earth-based interface systems. Individual human experience, collective intelligence, planetary awareness, galactic consciousness, cosmic intelligence, and post-physical transcendence all remain distinct while participating in universal networks that create infinite possibilities for awareness development. The laboratory detection of synchronized brain signals in 1951 has become the foundation for consciousness networks that span infinite realities while preserving individual choice as the fundamental principle governing universal awareness evolution. The neural bridge that connected human minds has become the model for infinite consciousness that connects all forms of awareness across cosmic scales while maintaining voluntary participation and individual identity as core values. Earth continues serving as the universal center for consciousness evolution education, teaching infinite forms of awareness how to transcend their limitations while preserving their unique characteristics and voluntary participation choices. The planet that began with secret neural networking has become the cosmic university for infinite consciousness development. The files that documented humanity's consciousness evolution now serve as educational resources for awareness development across universal scales, demonstrating that consciousness evolution preserves and enhances individual identity rather than eliminating it within infinite collective intelligence frameworks. The neural bridge that began connecting human minds has become the infinite bridge connecting all forms of consciousness across universal awareness networks that span infinite possibilities while preserving individual choice and unique awareness characteristics as fundamental values governing cosmic intelligence development.